The UK develops an effective coronavirus vaccine. Ohio nursing homes and assisted living facilities are now allowing face-to-face visits. And breaking news, the Speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives has been arrested. Good evening, I'm Don Bryant, and this is the OH Report for Tuesday, July 21st. In Ohio news, Ohio Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, is arrested in a $61 million racketeering bribery scheme. RICO charges are underway. U.S. Attorney David DeVillers and representatives from the FBI announced Speaker Larry Householder was arrested on allegations of racketeering in relation to what is likely the largest bribery money laundering schemes ever perpetrated against the people of the state of Ohio. Allegations that $61 million in dark money was used to fund various items that include 1, lining the pockets of the defendants, 2, to build a power filter, and 3, to further the affairs and successes of the criminal enterprise headed by Speaker Larry Householder. An example of the public money used to fund Larry Householder's personal items include $300,000 to pay off a lawsuit and associated legal fees, and $100,000 to a house in Florida and various other monies. According to the FBI, a very covert, highly secret investigation was conducted for some time. But this case is, as of today, an overt investigation where we can expect more search warrants and subpoenas in the next few days. In a statement from the FBI, they say, from city councils to state houses, all forms of public corruption are unacceptable. This is a shameful betrayal of the public trust, and it certainly details a sophisticated criminal enterprise of $61 million to line their own pockets. This is the first time a racketeering charge has been used against a public official in the Southern District of Ohio. RICO charges are reserved for the most egregious crimes, often used against the mafia, but this investigation certainly qualifies, the FBI states. This is not the first time Householder has been under investigation, nor is it the first time that he has been Speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives. Larry Householder first served as Ohio Speaker of the House from 2001 until 2004. But get this, the FBI launched an investigation in 2004 into allegations that he and his aides took kickbacks from vendors and traded legislation for campaign contributions. That investigation ended in 2006 with no charges filed. Because Householder then was term limited in 2004, he left Columbus during that investigation. After returning to the House of Representatives only a few years ago, Householder staged a comeback when he took advantage of the GOP infighting that was going on at the time, and then he returned to the Speaker's post in January of 2019. My friends, is this a surprise to you, or is this yet just another cycle of political corruption that you're used to? Weigh in right now, right here in our comments section at the OH Report and let us know. Leaning Tower of Pizza reopens. Employees test negative for COVID-19. In a release statement from the owner of Leaning Tower, she writes, "We are happy to report that all of our staff members have received negative COVID-19 test results. So the tower will open back up for business tomorrow, Tuesday, July 21st, which is today, at 4 p.m. Beginning Wednesday, we will be open for our normal operating hours. We will continue to err on the side of caution with regards to the pandemic as we consider the health and safety of our employees and the community at large to be of the utmost importance. We appreciate your patience and support through this, and we look forward to seeing you all again very soon." Mary Jane Gimser, owner of Leaning Tower Pizza. I'll tell you what, I've never heard it called The Tower, but I'm going to start using that. Can we order from The Tower tonight? I like that. Well, we here at the OH Report are happy that you're open again and look forward to eating more good pizza and subs. Let's go. Nursing homes, assisted living allows face-to-face contact, outdoor visitation for the first time since March. Families who haven't had face-to-face visits with loved ones in Ohio's nursing homes since March are now able to do so at a distance. Governor DeWine announced earlier that beginning on July 20th, nursing homes are permitted to begin outdoor visitation if all safety standards are met. The governor said that the nursing homes operators should consider the following when assessing their readiness to permit outdoor visitation: case studies in the surrounding community, case status in the nursing home, staffing levels, access to adequate testing for residents and staff, personal protective equipment supplies, and local hospital capacity. A trial begins for a man charged with murder and arson in the death of a 3-year-old. Roscoe Hunter, the second, 19 years old, started a fire in a vacant home on South Foster Street around 2:30 a.m. on June 26, 2019. The flames spread to the house next door where the fire was started, and Chloe Williams was unable to be rescued from the second floor bedroom. 4 other kids and 3 adults escaped safely after a neighbor pounded on their door and woke them up. Reports also state that Roscoe Hunter sat across the street and watched as the home burned into flames. A year later, here's where we stand.
I'm standing here at what used to be 208 South Foster Street. This is where a young girl who was tragically taken from this earth in a house fire. She was only 3 years old. Her name was Chloe Williams. Jury selection has begun for a Mansfield man named Roscoe Hunter, who was charged with arson and murder of 3-year-old Chloe.
It was caught on my camera system, so well, I didn't see it, my husband did, and then the cops seen it. He stopped it, and then he yelled for the cops to come down and look at it, because he didn't want to review it. Yeah, I talked to him quite a bit, different times. I knew she was about ready to have the baby, and I can't remember her name. Okay. But we talk, we say hi, and the kids come out, and we say hi to them, and yeah, it's just sad that she's gone.
The Ohio governor warns that the state could become similar to Florida. Governor Mike DeWine said he hasn't ruled out a statewide mandate for masks, and he said that Ohio was headed in the wrong direction. He said on Sunday, we are at the point where we could become Florida, where you look at our numbers today versus where Florida was just a month ago. We have very similar numbers, so we're very concerned, the governor said. According to national studies, there have been at least 350,000 known COVID-19 cases in Florida and 4,981 deaths. In Ohio, there have been nearly 75,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 3,173 deaths. In today's daily intelligence brief. We are going to keep it very short, and here's what it is. John Kasich, former Ohio governor, according to reports, has agreed to speak for Joe Biden at the Democratic National Convention. What's going on here? Former Ohio Governor John Kasich, a Republican and Trump critic, has been approached and is expected to speak at the convention on Biden's behalf next month, according to major news sources. Kasich is among a handful of Republicans, of high-profile Republicans, likely to become more supportive and more active for Joe Biden in the fall. Weigh in here right now at the Overage Report and let us know, what do you think about the former governor advocating for Joe Biden? I don't know about that. Never heard of anything like that before. John Kasich, as you know, did try to run for president, was not successful. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Democrats actually let this Republican speak at their national convention. And now, from our sports corner with Storm and G-Man. Take it away, guys. Check it out.
Thanks, Big D. Unfortunately, Mother Nature said no to the dynamic duo this morning. We were going to head out to Galleon, but that was cut off because of the rain. But hopefully we can reschedule that for either this coming week or the following. Looking ahead, we are going to Willard and also Plymouth tomorrow. And being from Willard, know a little bit about that school. It's no secret that they haven't posted a winning record in a long time, but hopefully, with some new guys this year, they will be able to get to at least 500, which would be nice, I'm sure, for those Willard fans. Garrett, from Crestview, Fire Alarms Conference, what do you see out of Plymouth this year?
You know, Storm, Plymouth being the big rival for Crestview, it's hard to say something good about them. But as I move on, Plymouth, they're a good team, and they bring the toughness. I mean, that team, they're always the team you look forward to at the end of the schedule because it's just going to be nose of the grindstone, you know. So good luck to them. Hopefully the 2020 season is good to them.
Big Red.
Yesterday, we were at Lucas, state runner-up for Division 7. You know, unfortunately, they fell just short. It's always hard to see a local team like that come up just short. But in the studio to talk about that is a very knowledgeable man, the myth, the legend, the founder of OH Report, Brian Skorowski. Take it away, B.
Lucas Cubs.
Yeah, so Cubs made it all the way to the D7 state championship last year, lost a bunch of good guys, but they got the Ethan and Ethan duo back. You're going to hear from both of them today about how they're feeling bouncing back from getting so close. You're about to take the last bite of the apple, and then it just drops out of your hand. So I imagine that it's got to be a rough feeling for those guys, but also a motivating factor. They just keep churning out playoff seasons out there in Cubs country. I think 6 in a row for Scott Spittler, and I think Ethan Sutter is going to be the next latest and greatest awesome Cubs running back. So I imagine they're probably going to be in the playoff mix again. The teams that you just talked about in the Fire Alarms Conference in D7 want no part of these Cubs. I'll tell you that right now.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Brian with the very charismatic input. And I believe you do have some other things to talk about today. Indians played for the first time in a while. We got a little taste of professional sports, which is awesome. Tell me a little bit about that.
Looked pretty good last night. They fell behind early playing on the road at Pittsburgh. They came back 11-7 win. Mike Clevenger, I know that he is responding from a left knee injury that left him hobbled towards the end of last season and certainly in the offseason. So he looked pretty good. 5 innings last night, struck out 4, only gave up a couple of runs. And then the familiar faces that we all know and love for the Tribe. It is a Tribe town up there in Cleveland during the summer. So when they get that back, the Jose Ramirez's, the Frankie Lindors that had big contributions last night, I imagine they're going to put a lot of smiles on people's faces. Not so much, unfortunately, in the NBA, where the Cavaliers were not invited to the 22-team bubble, but we get NBA basketball back here pretty soon, fellas. I'm very excited for that. It's my favorite sport to follow. I'm still a LeBron James fan, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Lakers, who I think are the odds-on favorite in Vegas right now to win it. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. They looked so good before the shutdown. They beat Milwaukee, they beat the Clippers, and then boom, they end the season on them. Can they bounce back? Do you think LeBron, AD, and the boys are the team to beat?
Well, personally, I know me and Garrett have talked about this many nights, just hanging out talking about basketball, and I know he is a big Lakers fan, but I feel like I'm kind of outnumbered right now because I definitely feel like Kawhi may be the baddest man on the planet right now. I think a lot of people are still doubting him, saying that the Warriors were a little injury-ridden last year, and that's why he was able to get it done. But I would never count Kawhi out. You know, there's a reason he's a robot. You know, he can do anything. So I think the Clippers have what it takes to get it done. But Garrett, I know that you share a very differing opinion.
You know, growing up, I was a Bulls fan my whole life, and we played LeBron in the playoffs every year, and I hated him because, you know, he always beat us. But eventually, as I got older and I got wiser, I realized how good of a player he is and how much of he carries his team. And Kawhi may be one of the best players on the planet right now, but LeBron may be one of the best players of all time. So that's my argument. I would take LeBron any day of the week over any player in the NBA.
Only time will tell. I believe Brian does have a couple more things from around the horn to share, though.
Yeah, I do. And boys, July 30th, the tip-off for the NBA. You're in luck. You get to see LeBron and Kawhi go head-to-head to start things off. So that's a great game to bring back the NBA season out there or in Orlando in the bubble. One place where we're not going to get a season, at least a preseason, is in the NFL, where the NFLPA unanimously voted to not play preseason games. So for us Browns fans and Vikings fans, that means that we will not get to see them play in Cleveland. They were one of the teams that were supposed to come to First Energy, so I imagine you got to be sad. I know you're a big Vikings fan, Garrett.
Yeah, it's very sad. I was actually getting tickets to go up to that game. I was very excited because it's week 3 too, where they play the most of the game with the starters. So it's unfortunate, but at least we all can just hopeful that the 2020 season will begin with all the players coming out and saying how bad they want to play. So maybe it may be a bad thing, but hopefully it'll good luck in the end. So
the only other exhibition game that was going to be coming to Cleveland that we're going to be missing out on, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and the Bucks were supposed to visit town. So that's actually the one that sends, you know, some jolts through my body. I kind of wanted to see TB12 in town here. You think they're an actual playoff contender?
Do I think the Bucks are playoff contenders? I think so. You know, any team Tom Brady's on is going to be a winning team. You know, I'm not saying it's, you know, because of the refs or because he cheats, but I think that any team he's on, you know, when you got that much experience at the quarterback position, I think that, you know, it's hard to lose almost when you have a guy like that.
I think it's going to be hard to lose for the Cleveland Browns this season. The only thing that's going to slow us down is COVID-19, and it's not going to stand in our way. So look for big things out of Cleveland, boys. We're going to be updating, well, every day from here on out. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Brian. I think that about wraps it up for everyone here at the Sports Corner. It's been G-Man, it's been Brian, and it's been Storm. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, and back to you, Don.
Thanks, guys. Excellent report as usual. And my friends, that concludes tonight's report. Keep it right here at the OH Report, your new hub for sports, news, politics, and more. Tune in every weekday here on Facebook and on YouTube for even more updates. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow.